Mr. Krishna, first of all, congratulations to you and your team for cracking the case. Indeed, great job done, great job accomplished, sir. What made the CID? What made the CID suspect that there was foul play involved in the case when all reports and so-called evidence was, if I can say, quote unquote, successfully tampered with?
Yeah, thank you for the compliments. It was a team effort. The entire CID and specifically the SIT that was formed has worked day and night for the last 8 weeks to successfully complete the investigation. Now, the main issue that came up was that we have done a reconstruction of the entire scene of crime. So, we prepared a dummy of the same height and same weight as that of the victim girl, and then we have scientifically and technically and logically proved that the girl would not have been able to commit suicide with that height by standing on the stools that were shown to have been used by the accused, that the victim has used these tools to commit suicide. So, once this is over, then we thought that there is no way the girl could have tied the knot to the ceiling fan herself. That means somebody else has done it. So, then it amounts to murder. So, we got the second post-mortem done by exhuming the body with the permission of the Honorable Court and with the consent of the parents of the victim. And the second post-mortem report has clearly brought out the injuries that were there on the skull and the neck, which were caused by a blunt weapon with use of force, and these were not recorded in the first post-mortem report nor in the inquest report. The magistrate and the doctors are duty bound to record these injuries in their reports because this forms a very crucial piece of evidence. So, once we got this done, then we got the FSL report of the garments of the victim girl, where there were body fluids, and we got the body fluid matched with that of the suspect accused by doing a DNA profiling, which is another scientific tool which we have used. And with this we could pinpointedly find out who is the accused, who was responsible for those body fluids on the garments of the victim girl. And once this is done, then we took him into custody, thoroughly interrogated him, and then we found out that he has murdered her using a coil rope. So, during this interrogation he has confessed, and we did a recovery under section 27 of Indian Evidence Act, and the rope, coconut coil rope, which was used for murdering and strangulating the victim girl, has been recovered. So, with these pieces of evidence we could successfully charge sheet the case.
Absolutely. Detailed investigation there, but it has not been easy, of course, for the team, since lot of anomalies found in the previous investigation, previous probe. So, Mr. Krishna, my next question to you is, what were the initial challenges that your team faced in the probe?
See, the initial challenge was that both the inquest and the PM report were in favor of the accused. So, we had to first prove that the contents of these two reports are false and fabricated. So, for that we had to go scientifically step by step, do the reconstruction of scene of crime, engage a board of forensic medicine experts from elite institutes like AIIMS, NEGRIMS and GMC, and we had to study ourselves the forensic medicine with regard to ligature marks. Then we did the second post-mortem. So, these things have proved to be very crucial and critical than the DNA profiling and the FSL report. So, getting a second post-mortem done, exhuming the body, then identifying the body fluids through the FSL on the garments of the victim, and identifying the injuries that were there in a body which was been buried for about 2 months, because the incident took place in the month of June and we got the case only in the month of August. So, these were the challenges and hurdles that were there, but we could successfully step by step manner, because of the hard work and commitment shown by the team of CID officers, we were able to do this.
Well, Mr. Krishna, as you just mentioned, it was only after a month after the case that the CID took charge of the investigation. If I can ask you, how many days into the investigation, did the CID realize that they are on track and that something big is going to be unearthed, and probably something is fishy in the case, and it definitely has to reach its logical end?
Maybe within the first 10 days, once the reconstruction of scene of crime was done, then we were confident that this cannot be a case of suicide. Then we started looking into the angles of murder, and the FSL reports and the postmortem and the board of forensic medicine experts. Then everything fell in line one after another.
Now, did you find it shocking that from the post-mortem report to the inquest report, everything was allegedly compromised with in this case initially?
See, whether it is compromised or not, it is for the courts to decide. But the fact is that very simple things like the magistrate has written that he has seen the body in the hanging position, which is completely far from the truth. He has seen the body on the floor of the ground floor of the house, whereas the incident took place in the first floor. And in fact, not only he, nobody has seen the victim in the hanging position except the narration given by the accused. So, these things were very glaring, and the height of the body was not measured. When it was 4 feet 8 inch, the magistrate recorded it as 3 feet 5 inches, and the ligature marks were not recorded, whether it is oblique or circular, which is a specific question in the inquest pro forma. It is a cyclostyle pre-fixed pro forma which has to be filled in. So, there he just wrote mark on the neck, conveniently to not committing this side or that side. So, how difficult it will be for the investigator if such inquest reports are generated and produced.
Now, Mr. Krishna, during the interaction with the media today during the afternoon, you also mentioned how your team consulted with experts from AIMS, from NIGRIMS, from GMCH, and also did a detailed medical study in course of investigating the case. How challenging was the entire probe, and was it a learning experience for the team as well?
Yes, it was indeed a learning experience. It was at the end of the day a very satisfying experience, professionally very satisfying, and morally also there is a satisfaction that the victim has finally the truth we were able to unearth as far as investigation is concerned.
And what lessons does this case hold, especially for the police? Now, this is not the first time that a domestic help has been probably sexually assaulted and even physically beaten up, even murdered. So, what lessons, especially in terms of probe, does it hold for the police, for the authorities, according to you?
Yeah, the basic lesson is the most important and crucial documents or procedures that are to be followed in case of an unnatural death of a allegation of a suicide, that too of a minor girl child. It has to be a meticulous inquest and a meticulous postmortem, and all the possible evidences from the body of the victim should be sent to FSL for a detailed examination, and it should be done at the earliest possible time without a delay. Otherwise, the delay may result in losing the evidence, delay may result in deterioration of the evidence, and the delay may also result in sometimes completely having no value for the evidence which otherwise would have had some evidence had it been examined on time. For example, the body fluids will have a life. They will not be eternally be able to chemically examine even after several weeks. So, it should be done meticulously and on time, and supervisory officers should supervise such sensitive cases and guide the IOs and ensure that all the procedures that are to be adopted are followed.
And Mr. Krishna, finally, will cracking of this case serve as an example for dealing with similar cases in the future? And the bottom line is doing things right, doing the basics right. Probably a lot of basic stuff was not done right in this case, and that's why it reached this situation. A second post-mortem had to be done. So, what are the lessons that the authorities can take in dealing with future cases, going by the way your team proved this case?
This is an learning experience for us also, and for me as an individual professional also, this has been a learning experience, and definitely it will be a learning experience for all the other police officers in the state. We did share this case study presentation in the SP's conference, and even the additional SPs were part of this presentation that was made. So obviously, when a case study is there, this becomes a good case study and a learning experience for all of us. And you learn while doing. It's not that in the training you learn everything and come. In the field, as you see new cases, as you try to detect new cases and try to get more evidences and use the scientific tools and the forensic tools, then you will gain experience. And obviously this has been a learning experience not only for the CID and SIT, but for several other police officers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Krishna, for your inputs on this, for the details of the probe. I know you're busy this evening, so thank you so much for sparing your time.